She could have said the most corny thing ever, but it would have been way better than whatever she said in that interview. Hi guys, I'm Tati. Welcome to Tati's Media, where I get to talk to you guys and offer my perspective about anything, specifically things that you guys see in the media. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Katy Perry and her comment about how we will not be able to feel connected to real love until we are in space. Yes. I'm going to preface two things. The first thing is all the millionaires who were on this trip who don't have an interest in, learning about space or studying about space or any of that sort of thing, they all should be receiving backlash for this. Not just Katy Perry, but in this video, I'm specifically picking apart the interview that she was doing. They all should be held accountable for this trip. And the second thing I want to preface is that this does not include Aisha Bowe and Amanda Nguyen. They actually have an interest in space and, learning about these things and discovering new things about the planet. So it doesn't include them, and I am super happy for them that they got to be a part of this experience. Congratulations to those ladies. They worked their entire lives to be here, and I'm so happy for them. Amanda Nguyen performed 3 experiments in the 11-minute trip that they were in space, and I think she should be proud of herself. Once again, congratulations to those ladies. As always, I'm not the news, so if I get anything wrong, please kindly correct me in the comments below, but I try my best to do my research and get my facts straight. And I'd also like to mention that this channel has had a name change. I went from Tati Rebels to TATI'S Media. This channel has grown in unexpected ways since I just started posting, and I'm super happy about that. I have a fun surprise for this little change at the end of the video if you guys want to stick around. And yeah, firstly, how did Katy Perry alongside a bunch of other millionaires get to where we're at today, right? If you don't know who Katy Perry is, she is a female singer. She's been around for generations. And that basically sums up who Katy Perry is. So she was part of an all-female crew who were set to fly out on a Blue Origin. It's described as a suborbital mission, right? Basically, they'd be briefly leaving Earth and then returning. Now, typically when people go to space, we're wondering, why? And usually the answer is for resources, for discovery, etc., to learn more about space. That's what astronauts do. And typically astronauts are the ones going into space. So why is Katy Perry alongside a bunch of other millionaires going to space, right? According to the mission press release, it was to inspire more young women in STEM to pursue their goals of space, essentially. Now, experiences like this are not cheap. So when I looked up, how much it costs to take a trip like this, of course, you're not going to get a definite answer, but something that Google told me, the extra cost of spaceflight remains undisclosed, but a seat on its maiden flight in 2021 was auctioned for $28 million. There's a little bit of insight on the fees and the taxes on this flight. Although it was made to inspire more young women in STEM to pursue their dreams and goals of, going to space, being an astronaut, etc., the public sentiment had the opposite idea, which I do not blame them, okay? But people were basically saying Katy Perry's entire demeanor from launching to landing back down onto Earth safely was just so out of touch.
You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give, and how loved you are until the day you launch.
Yeah, people were saying how it doesn't feel like an inspiration for the women in STEM, but more so as an escapism for the celebrities, and how it feels like a luxury PR stunt. And people were also saying basically all the waste that this 11-minute trip took. As we know, space travel emits a lot of carbon emissions, so for that to be wasted on a silly little 11-minute trip with no goal or bigger picture, we're just wasting resources essentially. People were just definitely not happy at all. I saw a TikTok that said, those astronauts that got stuck in space for 9 months seeing Katy Perry kiss the ground after her 3-second round trip. And a lot of the comments were saying how it's such a waste of $28 million. It could have been donated. Here are some TikToks that other creators made of the reaction.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Oh God, pause. Can you imagine being an actual fucking astronaut? Yeah. You trained for 93 fucking years. Yeah, you're literally a fucking genius. You went to the Air Force when you were 18 years old. You worked your ass off. You read 1,000 billion books. You did like 40,000 fucking hours in space. No, you're not.
Play it.
I feel super connected to love.
Okay.
Pause.
This is where you lost me. It's if anyone's ever gone skydiving, they land with so much adrenaline. How is she so calm? Right. You were just in space and you're like, I was listening to the Calm app the entire time. I'm so zen and connected with the universe.
It cost $28 million to send Katy Perry to space. Here's what that money could have done instead. Feed every person in New York City for 10 million days, cover 4 years of college tuition for 3,100 students at $9,000 a year, provide a year of rent for 1,800 families, deliver clean water access to 1.1 million people, which is very insane. If that math is correct, I think that is just very insane when you break it down like that. People are also comparing it to when those group of men went down in the submarine, saying that this just feels like the same thing all over again.
Today's episode of Rich People Doing Things Nobody Asked For. 6 women launched into space for a lifetime of bragging rights. It all just feels too familiar. I'm sure you guys remember this, when 5 ultra-wealthy men paid $250,000 each to go into what looked like a soda can controlled by a $30 video game remote to dive to the Titanic wreck, and we all know how that turned out.
So now that you guys are all caught up, we're going into the portion of the video where it's mind over media, where I get to talk about my perspective on the situation. I think that Katy Perry is extremely out of touch and that this just screams entitlement in a way that is it's so hard to conceptualize how entitled someone has to be. Do you know what I mean? I think the biggest thing for me is that although it's supposed to be inspirational, it's actually a mockery of those women who have studied their entire life to be an astronaut. For Katy Perry to go to space for 11 minutes, come down, and the interviewer or whoever is speaking to her in the clips, for her to call her an astronaut because she went to space for 11 minutes and wore a blue suit. Katy Perry's hair is done. She's wearing jewelry. She's not even wearing a protective suit or anything like that, as far as we know. Katy Perry knows nothing about space. She has not ever expressed the want to go to space to learn or discover space. What does Katy Perry gain from that trip? She didn't conduct any experiments. She didn't learn anything while being up there. She probably learned things during her training. She gains nothing except, oh, I feel love and I feel like I'm capable of giving love. Katy, I want to tell you, I honestly feel so much empathy for you if this trip to space is what made you realize that you're capable in receiving love. And also, I want to let you know that love doesn't come from a trip to space, okay? It's found in community, care, and giving back to others. And thank you for letting those who are really struggling that they won't find that type of love or be capable of giving it until they go to space. Someone out there is probably struggling to pay for groceries, and you're saying you'll never be capable of the amount of love you have to give or receive until you go to space. So out of touch. People were talking about her kissing the ground, just another thing that seemed very entitled because she was only up there in space for 11 minutes.
We have to go right there. Okay.
Katie!
Now, I have to be honest, I would definitely kiss the ground. If I was in space and I came back down, I don't care for how long, I would definitely come down and kiss the beautiful ground because one, I have a fear of heights. That's just one. But two, because yeah, there are dangers to traveling in space. We all know the crew that got stuck for 9 months in space. There's definitely a very big risk to traveling in space, right? But I think more so it's just that paired with the interview, that all of it just together combined seems very out of touch. But I would definitely be kissing the ground if I had just traveled to space and came back alive. That would be me. Also, space tourism for funsies isn't empowering women. I genuinely don't know why they thought that sending a bunch of millionaires to space who have no interest in actually studying space or anything like that is empowerment. I also feel like Katy treated going to space like an achievement more than a privilege. And I think that's kind of where the disconnect is, you know, like, does she thank her team? Does she thank her family or anything like that? Or acknowledge that it's such a privilege that I am able to afford, or just to be able to stand in front of a spaceship? I also feel like she didn't intentionally mean to come off out of touch. I feel like she more so, with her whole speech to the interviewer about love and feeling connected to it, I think she more so meant to express that she was feeling so loved and grateful to be there. But none of these celebrities are PR trained these days, so it didn't come out right. Somebody should have prepped her. She could have said the most corny thing ever but it would have been way better than whatever she said in that interview, I assure you. That's all I have to say about this. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Katy Perry was just extremely overwhelmed by the experience and just didn't have the correct words to say at the time? Do you guys think that she should have been PR trained prior to the interview? Do you guys think that she has a right to say the words that she was saying and to kiss the ground? Let me know your guys' thoughts, and yeah. Okay, love you, bye. Oh yes, a surprise. So in honor of this channel changing names, I decided I would give you guys some bloopers from when I was Tati Rambles, just to clear the air and enter in a new era fresh. And yeah, enjoy the bloopers. Hi guys, I'm Tati, welcome to Tati Rambles, where I get to these are just my Hi guys, welcome to Tati. Oh, my light just went out, so I think that's a sign. I'm recording. I personally believe